talk about this shooting. Well, both shootings actually, but first off, did anybody watch the press conference they gave? That was one of the weirdest press conferences I've ever seen. Just no information. Didn't know how many people died. In one sentence they said the only guy transported to the hospital was the shooter. So then that would mean they know everybody that's dead or got injured. Right? Well, it turns out this morning, nobody went to the hospital but the shooter. Everybody that he shot died. Which has to make him the most efficient mass shooter ever. I mean, 9 for 9. He shot 9 people and they all died. It's kind of crazy. Again, they wouldn't release the guy's name only today. But it's like, all right, it's just a weird one. It's very, very weird. And on top of that, the guy that was filming the damn thing, that guy's a piece of shit. I mean, he literally walked by 3 people I saw that was on the ground. Now, you can say, well, they were already dead and he's just filming it. Well, he didn't know that. He's not a fucking doctor. And on top of that, the beginning of the video, he's running towards the supermarket. He said, I just heard gunshots. And you can kind of hear the gunshots in the back. So he was like right there. In fact, during the thing, he's saying that he was in the parking lot when he heard the first gunshots. So he was literally there when it happened. When it started, when it happened. So how could he just run by people that was on the ground? Yeah, a normal person would stop. First off, a normal person wouldn't be filming that shit because you have to be a complete idiot. I almost guarantee this guy is from the millennial generation, right? And can't change a tire, doesn't know how to drive a stick shift, sure knows how to fucking get on live stream while people are getting shot. I don't know, go figure that one. Anyway, this guy's running by people that just got shot, and we know that because he said he was there when the first shot started ringing. So these people literally got shot, and he's not stopping to see if they're okay. Nothing. And then he's yelling at other people while he's on his phone videotaping this. He's yelling at other people, call 911. It's like, why don't you call 911? Why don't you do it? You got a phone in your hand. This generation, man. I mean, just look at that video if it's still up and YouTube hasn't taken it down. Look at that video and just see this generation, because that guy has to be a young guy. I don't think he's in his 30s. He's got to be in his 20s. I don't know that for sure, but I would just assume by the way he was acting. Because if it was me, I would fucking be trying to help people. You know, at least that person that was in a parking lot, I'd be fucking trying to drag that person away. You know, I don't know if I would actually walk up to the door the way this guy did. Just shows you how stupid he is. There's an active shooter in there and he's walking up to the door and you can hear shots in there. I can't go on and on about this idiot that was filming it. Anyways, so it didn't even take, just the same day CNN is pushing this narrative now. And it's funny how convenient it is, because what's been dominating the headlines is the border crisis, which it should, because it is a crisis, even though the administration doesn't want to admit it and they don't want to admit that they created it. But it's how convenient, because now they have something else to talk about, something to deflect the sheep's attention away from what's really going on, this mass shooting. And again, all jumping to conclusions. Well, the reason he was not dead is because he's white. Turns out he's not white. Guy's a fucking Muslim, whatever. He's probably Armenian or whatever the fuck it is. Fucking Muslim. And then you go look at his posts. People go and find these things. You can go look at his posts. This guy's a fucking nutbag. This guy's a fucking nutbag. Well, how did he get the gun? Well, using conjecture and just assumptions about how he got the guns isn't gonna, like, make it real. Maybe you journalists should fucking wait till the facts are out there. How did he get the gun? You know? If he got the gun illegally, there's nothing you can do about that, right? You can't legislate that away. He got it illegally. But we don't know that. Did he buy it? Did he buy it fucking legally? Again, we don't know that. Now, maybe there should be, when they do a background check, they check out your psychological thing. Maybe they should do that. I don't know. Again, this guy was obviously fucking nuts. Even his own family said the guy was fucking nuts. Well, what's he doing with a gun? Again, these are very valid questions, but the knee-jerk reaction is, oh, we just need to ban all guns. It's like, no. What needs to happen is we need to be more diligent on who gets to have a gun, not just ban guns outright. Because that's my right, that's your right to defend yourself. I said this before. You can't rely on the cops to protect you. They're there to protect you, and that's their job. But when you call 911, if there's somebody in your house, somebody attacking you, you're on your own until they get there. And so, what are you gonna do? Protect yourself with harsh words? What are you gonna do? That's why the Second Amendment is there, to protect yourself. Not only from fucking criminals, but also from your own government. It says right there in the damn fucking thing. Anyways. So, how convenient that there's this new crisis, you know? How convenient. You had 2 shootings in the span of a few days, okay? The first one been spun totally out of proportion. This guy was just a fucking nut. And again, I would have, it's pretty much, from what's been reported on this latest one, this guy was a nut too, right? What are you gonna do about nuts? Well, maybe we need to work on mental disorders. I mean, really, people that have mental disorders shouldn't have a gun. I agree with that. Then again, maybe if there was somebody there that had a gun, could have stopped this. You know? They could have drawn on this guy and fucking put him down like the animal he is. Just saying. By the time the cops got there, right? I mean, one of the cops got there, he got shot too. Again, we need to wait for the facts of the thing to come out before we jump to conclusions. I mean, just the way the media just twist shit is all of a sudden they jump on the anti-gun narrative immediately. Before they even have the facts of the story, they were pushing that. Before they even knew the identity of the shooter, what his motives was. It's like, oh no, we need to take away guns. Like, would that have stopped this particular shooting? If you couldn't have a gun? That's an unknown, because if the guy wanted to hurt people, you don't need a gun to hurt people. You could build a bomb. You could take a knife, right? You could become a serial killer. There's so many ways to hurt people where you don't need a gun. I don't know, man. Again, this is scary because of what it's implying, that they're going to use this to say, bro, we have no choice but to take away your guns. And that, my friend, is the last nail in the coffin. When they take away your guns, then you have no way to defend yourself against a totalitarian state. This has been proven over and over again. It's funny how people don't remember their history. I know I say this over and over again, but it's funny because you look at all the fucking countries that ended up in a totalitarian state. The first thing they did was control the narrative, control the media, propaganda. And then the second thing they did was disarm the fucking the public. Now the public really can't defend themselves. They can't defend their mind, and now they can't defend their body. Yeah, it's scary shit, but I mean, it's happening right in front of us. This guy was an obvious nut. He shouldn't have had a gun. That's obvious, right? So instead of legislating the guns, let's legislate mental disorders. Let's legislate people that have obvious problems. Let's fucking make sure that they get the help they need. You know, not get ignored. I mean, watch that movie with Joaquin Phoenix, the Joker. Part of his story is that this guy has a disorder, right? And he's getting help, but then they cut his help. They cut his drugs. They cut his service worker. What is he left with? That's no excuse to do what he did in that movie. But again, that's someone that needs to be helped, needs the counseling and the medication, and it got cut from him. This guy was 21 years old. This idiot in fucking Colorado. 21. His life is done. He's never going to see the outside of a prison. I don't know if they have the death penalty in Colorado. I mean, they should have the death penalty. This guy went and murdered a whole bunch of people. But was he insane when he did it? Who knows? Who knows? These are all unknown things. And just how the media jumps to conclusions with no facts. Just totally starts to write the narrative. And then people eat it up. People eat it up when it's all opinion. Like really, what should just reported is just the facts of what happened. This guy went there, shot a whole bunch of people. We don't know why he did it. We don't know how he got the guns. We don't know if it was racially motivated. It can't be, because he just went in there and just randomly shot people. We don't know any of these things, but yet they all jump to those conclusions. And this is a pandemic. This pandemic of not reporting the news, but pushing a narrative. That's all it is. Pushing a narrative for the idiots that believe that shit. Because half the country are truly idiots.